Welcome back to Willy's garden. Here I've got parsley and thyme. It's just hardening off. I'm only leaving it out for a couple of hours. I left it out far too long yesterday. But it's good weather, so it's alright. Maybe they shouldn't be in direct sunlight, but fuck it, it'll be alright. The rest of them seemed grand. Now, first thing I have to do is water that bed I planted all the seeds in. Because it's drying out badly in this fucking good weather. So I'm going to do that now. So there it is now before watering. And you can see how dry it is. It's very dry. So we've got 2 things of water. And I'm just going to pour them over. As you can see now, it's thoroughly watered. 1 jug per half. This jug has no end on it, so I had to pour all this jug into that jug as well. Just to sprinkle it over. We've got something growing here. Hopefully it's an onion, probably a wheat. Now we're going to go up to this greenhouse. Actually, we better water these lettuce. Something is eating the fucking broccoli, it's gone. It's completely gone. Something's obviously eating it. I'm going to have to staple that on too. Broccoli's completely gone. At least there's some survived the night. Planted them yesterday. So now we're going to go probably get the stapler and water them. Before we water them, take a look at these tomato plants. They've shot up since yesterday. They're nearly a quarter bigger since yesterday. It's crazy. They're loving the heat. These peppers are shooting up as well because of the heat. They're just loving it. Like down here, these ones are probably stretching because they don't get as much light. They're chilies there, but these peppers have nearly doubled in size since yesterday. It's fucking crazy. And in here, there's a lot of condensation. There's a very high humidity. So I think that's probably good for the plants. But we're going to move them into the big greenhouse today and plant them in the beds. This keeps the heat at night, this greenhouse, but the other one really doesn't that much. So we'll see how that works out. We're going to plant them today. Now we'll just go water these beds first. That's that bed watered with the lettuce and the broccoli. I've watered the whole bed even though there's nothing on that side because the water might leach over to the other side if there's nothing there. So there was a pool there, but it drained quickly, so there's good drainage here. Well, half drained. Still looks very wet. That's a good thing. Baking in the sun. As well water this bed too. Because these fruit bushes are starting to grow again after getting shocked. After getting transplanted. And this one in the middle's growing and all. The only thing not growing is a blueberry. It's kind of coming, there's a wee leaf on it. And these strawberries, that one up there is thriving up at the top. So many different leaves coming. So we're just going to water that too. Remember these had these spots on them. It must have been a nutrient deficiency or a shock or something because the new leaves don't have them spots at all. And they haven't spread up here, so it's probably just nutrient deficiency or something. So it's all good. The problem with this is I'm going to have to be here every day to water these beds throughout the summer. Unless it rains, and we're talking about getting a 50-foot hose to stretch from up there to down here, but money problems, you see. And the problem with these weed fabrics are the water collects in pools. It doesn't evenly distribute. It's supposed to be waterproof, or it's supposed to be water permeable, so water goes through it. But it takes ages to go through it, so it just collects in pools like here and here. But and also, weeds still grow underneath it. Like here's a weed that's still growing underneath it. Like so, I'm not going to use it in the rest of the beds. Kind of useless. Go up to this polytunnel now. As you can see, we finally got the door on, both the doors. And to get in, I've just secured this to 2 nails with a knot on one, and the other just thingamy, just tie like round the nail. We'll go in anyway. And if you could feel the heat in here, my glasses are steaming up. You can't, hopefully the camera doesn't steam up. But my strawberries are thriving. See that one? The pot even melted a wee bit. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks melted. And this basil's fairly thriving too. Since I put it out here, it's grown in size. And it's just thriving, so it is. Here's my other strawberries. Them biodegradable pots don't really degrade at all, so that's why they're not getting bigger. Like this one. And I've got this bed uncovered since yesterday. And there was ants in it underneath the thing. So there's probably ants about here. There might be an ant colony in here. They can eat fruit, but they're not really detrimental to plants, and they can kill other insects, but they farm aphids. They secrete some sort of sweet juice, so they kind of incapacitate them and torture them and farm them. So aphids aren't good, but I seen a ladybug there earlier too. So I've got that grass, it's just lying on the wheat fabric on the plastic, and it's still growing. So we're going to get rid of all that, uncover this bed, and start planting. Hopefully the ants don't give us any trouble. You can see here, we got hinges from a local shop, local gardening and building shop. And we just secured the hinges, secured the doors to the hinges. And we went round the doors as well. And we stretched the plastic out over them. And then hammered on boards to keep the plastic in place. And then we just put it on. It's great to have it on. This is a bit, because in a warm day, the plastic stretches. So it's a bit stretched out now. But it's better than being too tight. So we're just going to open that other door. And then let some air in, and it's roasting in there, and get started. I opened that door. And it just closed by itself there now. Spooky. But hopefully this will let some air in. Look at that. Just closing by itself. Because of that other door. We're trying to let air circulate. We need to get rid of all these nettles. You can make nettle soup. Nettle tea for your plants is high in nitrogen as a fertilizer. There's a thistle down there. So we're just going to have to get rid of all this shit somehow. I've laid out these sheets here, so that might do the job there. So maybe lay one out there and lay one in there maybe. Once I get these off. I just noticed a couple of earwigs and a centipede. I'll try to get it on camera, but it's scurried away. We're going to keep that door closed because it keeps blowing in and out, so until we get some way of securing it, we'll have to keep it closed for now. But I'm sweating already being in here about 5 minutes. So we're going to put all the peppers and chilies and all on that side. And it goes up pretty high, so they won't really touch the side. Then the tomatoes up there, going down basils and watermelons and strawberries at the bottom. The watermelons haven't even germinated yet, so it's going to be difficult. I'm just going to have to keep a place for them. And the sweet basil's here, but the lemon basil is just germinated, so we're going to leave it a wee while to plant that. Might water these beds first before I start working on them, because they need water. Like they've been in here for about a month maybe or something. No water at all, so we'll just get the watering cans and water them before we do anything. Happy with my tomato plants. Look at that. They look fucking perfect. They're just the right height for the age they are. Maybe they're a month old by now. Maybe less. So we're just going to start taking these up once we water. I'm starting to think the soil doesn't have the best drainage. There's puddles of water collecting after I watered it. They'll soak away and they though, like this side. No sign of the ants at all. They were all there the last day, so the colony must be away under there or something. So we shouldn't have any trouble, hopefully. They must have just been on a mission collecting shit or something. Right, that'll do with that one. Now we're going to water this one. We're definitely going to have to get some beer traps for the slugs. We need eggshells too, but we don't have any. So until we get some of them, we'll just use beer traps and put them in on the soil. So the slugs will fall in and drown in the beer. because they love beer. They're alcohols. That's them both watered. So now we're going to bring the tomatoes up and start planting them here. It's fucking roasting in here, man. I can't stop sweating. So we're taking the 6 big tomatoes. They're going to be proper big tomatoes first. So we're taking them up first. I'm going to take them 2 at a time. Take them all up then plant them. These tomatoes are my pride and joy. They're fucking perfect. But there's a lot of fucking bugs in here, so we're gonna have to. We might fall victim to some pest attacks. But I'm gonna plant them in here now. This is gonna be dangerous because I just saw an ant, and they're not black ants. They don't sting. They're red ants, which are a very painful sting. So I'm gonna have to be very careful planting this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just have to stand and plant them in. I've got this ruler that measures 1 foot by 1 foot, so that's what I'm giving them, 1 foot each. Just going to have to get some markers first. There's the markers. The bed's actually smaller than I thought it was. It's 4 by 8 on the outside of them planks, but on the inside it's like 3 by 6 or something. So they're going to get less than 1 foot each. Fuck it, that's the only way I'll fit them all in. There's the first one in over in the corner. I'm being very cautious of these ants. I'm conscious of them. Keeping a lookout for any swarms. Fuck that. But yeah, I just went in, dug the hole and placed it in the hole. So I'm going to do another one here where this earthworm is. And then here, and then here. We'll get 4 in there anyway. That's 1 row in. I've just took the soil out, took them out of the pot and placed them in the hole. I'm going to have to get some supports for them when they get bigger, but for now it's alright. 2 more to go in down there and then I can get out of this heat for a fucking minute. It's roasting. I found many bugs, some slugs, something that looks like a black earwig, and other shit too. And this thing too. Whatever it is, a white grub. It's disgusting. So maybe I'll leave planting the rest to see how they get on. I don't know. I'm going to go research these things first. So that's the tomatoes planted. I'm going to leave it now and go and get. My aunt has some gooseberry plants for me, so I'm going to go get them. I seen a slug there before I went inside for a break, but I can't see it now. I need to get rid of it. There's a fucking spider there. Weird looking thing. Lots of bugs in here. It's not nice at all. But sure, it has to be done. Right. I'm gonna go get these gooseberries and leave this to when it's cooler. Here they are. I think someone bit me there. Anyway, they're not the most well looked after, but they've got shoots. And I'm going to plant them in this bed here now. They're wild though, so they might have viruses, but fuck it, it'll be alright. As you can see, I've just drenched that in water. There's a layer of water on the top now. Hopefully it'll drain away, but if not, it's alright. You can pour it out. I'll just give the roots a good soaking before planting them. I'm going to do this one now. As you can see, all the water's drained out of them. So, I'm going to have to dig pretty big holes to plant these. I'm just going to plant the 2 here. On this side of that other one. That's them planted now. They're big sprawling things. That one's way over that way, and then this one is taking up the whole place. So that's what the other ones will be when they get bigger, sure. So I'm going to leave the garden now until later. Because I found that white grub in the soil, I'm going to leave planting anything else until I identify what it is and get the appropriate bug killer thing for it. Hopefully organic bacteria or something. We'll see what it is first. So I'm just going to take these tomatoes up and put them in the greenhouse. Just sitting there on the floor for now. And then I'm going to move these chilies here up to here beside the peppers because they'll get more light up there. So I'll just take these out now and move these up here. That'll be the chilies. So there's my strawberries, basil, and tomatoes. That larva could be a June bug or a Japanese beetle. And the larvae of them, they eat the roots of the plants. So I'm going to have to find out what it is before I plant anything else and eradicate it using organic means. But now they're in there. I'm going to get some more water and water them again just in case. I've watered them. I've been careful not to get the leaves wet, because in this heat it might scorch the leaves. Like, they're my wee delicate babies, so I don't want them to get fucked up. Like, a couple of them seem to be wilting, kinda. I don't know, maybe that's just the way they go. But if this larvae's in the soil, I'll have to leave it. I watered the whole thing, like. Looks like these might need a water, and I'll check now and water them if they need one. I'll water these too. I've overwatered them. The pools of water on the soil isn't draining away at all. I might check back later and see if they're drained away. Because that's twice I've watered that soil today. So it might be too much water. Anyway, I might come back later and check, but for now, that's the greenhouse done. So we'll just tie up the wee thing, and that'll be us for the day.